Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Friday, March 14th, 2025. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with ratings news. Wednesday's AEW Dynamite drew a viewership of 628,000 according to WrestleNomics. That's up from last week's audience of 600,000. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .16, also up from last week's demo rating of .13. TNA Wrestling presented the Sacrifice Go Home edition of Impact last night on Access TV and TNA Plus, featuring matches taped on March 13th in Winter Park, Florida. In the final match, Ryan Nemeth used his brother Nick's rematch clause to challenge TNA World Champion Joe Hendry, but came up short. Nemeth's challenge took place immediately after Hendry had just retained his world title against Hammerstone. Hendry was attacked after the match by the System until the Hardys Leon Slater and Elijah made the save. In a women's tag team match, Tessa Blanchard teamed with NXT's Cora Jade to defeat Masha Slamovich and Lei Ying Lee. In other results, JDC beat Cody Deaner, NXT's Wes Lee defeated Laredo Kid, Xia Brookside defeated Rosemary by disqualification, and Eddie Edwards topped Leon Slater to gain the advantage in the cage match for tonight's Sacrifice. Ring of Honor also streamed last night on Honor Club, featuring matches taped on March 1st in Oakland, California. In the main event featuring CMLL wrestlers, Mystico Atlantis and Esfinge defeated Euphoria, Rocky Romero, and Valiente. In an 8-man tag team match, the Gates of Agony and Top Flight defeated the Frat House and the Premier Athletes. In other results, Layla Gray beat Lady Frost, Katsuyori Shibata went over Lee Johnson, Dark Panther defeated Aaron Solo, Blake Christian topped Titus Alexander, and the Spanish Announce Project beat Alpha Zoe and CSJ. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.